Good morning. It's Independence Day here, July the 4th, 2015 in America. I'm just going to make a peach cobbler. So I'm going to start a number of techniques. The full technique of that you can actually get on my website as we go through. But basically, to start peach cobbler, we're going to make a double batch of flour. So that's about a pound of flour of pastry. It's about a pound of flour, or about 2.5 cups. So I'm going to put the flour in, I'm going to put a pinch of salt, and I'm going to put the fat in. And normally, it's always half fat to flour, so this would be 8 ounces. And normally I do half lard and half of butter. But this is a dessert, and so I've actually only got 2 ounces of the lard in here and 6 ounces of salted butter. And I have got salted butter because I want it to slightly counteract the sweetness of the peach cobbler. If you like things really sweet, you don't need to do that. So I'm just going to put that in once again, and I've forgotten a knife, so let me grab one. You're going to chop it up first with your with your knife. Goodness me. And I haven't had any wine yet either, but I will be. So we're just going to make a batch of this, which is basically short crust pastry. So I'm going to get on and do that. And the full breakdown of doing this is on my website. The recipe is, and on YouTube you would find, just Google under short crust pastry, or search under, and that will tell you how to make the short crust pastry. So I'm going to get that made so I can put it in the fridge, and then we'll quickly start the peaches on their journey as well. So, see you in a few moments. Hello again. Right, so we have peaches. I've already taken the skin off, and we're literally going to slice them and put them into the bowl, which I have ready here. Let me get some kitchen towels, put all the pips on of the ones that I'm now doing. There we go. So it's just 10 to 12 peaches. I've already done quite a few in here. So I've taken the skins off earlier. I tend to prefer batch cooking, so I did a load of peaches at the same time. Now peaches, once they're quite ripe, have so much more flavour. They are much better to eat ripe and get a flavour out of, but they're also easier to handle because they will, the skin will fall off, the pips will come out, as you can see. So this is just a load of peaches. This is a sharp knife, so I'm not going all the way through. They'll just break open. So it's not really an issue for me. I do have a board under here, so I could do that. But in all honesty, a blunt knife, if you're doing this with children, would cut through peaches. So I've got a load of peaches in here, and we are going to put a few more, I think. So the recipe I'm going to put online is 10 to 12 cups. I guess that. I don't measure that. This is a recipe that a friend gave me. They gave me a gorgeous cookbook, and this is the recipe I've always used. I really like it. But I tend to feel the recipe. I know how much fruit we like. So having made this already before, I can judge. Do that with cooking. This is about your taste buds, your family, your recipes. It's not about following a recipe religiously every time. Yes, sure, for the first time. And I should have taken my ring off. I need to do that. We do not need me to drop a stone into here and lose it, and we certainly don't need me to, or anyone else to, crack a tooth eating it. So I've got half a cup of sugar, which I'm going to put over, and a tablespoon of lemon juice, and I'm just going to mix that together and leave it for about 20 minutes. And while I'm leaving it, I'm just going to get together the next load of ingredients, which we're going to mix in with the fruit. So I will put these in the compost, put these in the sink, and let's make the next part of. Hello again. Right, so we've got our peaches and they're just mingling with a bit of the sugar and the lemon juice, and that's to actually help them sort of break down and get some juice in there. I've got the remaining sugar in this bowl, and I'm going to mix this all together. So now it's about 3 tablespoons of plain flour. The cinnamon is in there. I need half a teaspoon, a quarter teaspoon actually, of salt. And I like to, I need nutmeg, half a teaspoon, but I like to do my own. So I love fresh nutmeg. I tend to put more than they ask in the recipe. It's just one of those, you'll learn what you love and what you'll add extra of. So I just get a load going. If I was honest, I most probably would just do it straight in. I can semi-gauge. I use my all the time. But this is half a teaspoon. So I'm going to add that in as well. As I said, I like a little extra, so we'll just bung some in since I had got that ready. So I've got all of these in. As normal for me, mixing it with the balloon whisk. That's all the dry ingredients. So sugar, flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, and a wee bit of salt. And this is what we're going to be mixing into the peaches in a moment. And then I've got half a cup of butter, which I'm going to pour in. And I need a teaspoon. Since I have a half teaspoon here, we'll just do 2 of these. I did not get my teaspoon out. I'll put it in that bowl because there's still some nutmeg in that one actually. Put that to there. And there is still a little bit of butter. Last licks are so useful. So just put it all in like that. Now we're just going to mix that all together like this. And then this mixture we are going to mix with our peaches. So this has got really got the sugar in. I find a lot of American recipes have far more sugar than we might put in Britain, so make it once and then adapt it. I prefer you to put less sugar in than more salt to counter it. That just seems crazy to me. So sometimes, yes, we need to, but most of the time, no. So here are our peaches. They've been sitting there and they've broken down quite nicely. You see the spatula there, we'll go through them. So I'm now going to literally just tip this in. There we go. Get rid of these. And now I'm going to mix this. I can't turn it too much because there's lots of juice in there now. And I'm just going to make sure the sugar and those gorgeous spices get mixed in with all of the peaches. And I can break down the peaches a little bit more. I don't want to break them down too much because they will mash a bit with cooking, so it's better not to. But this is now turned into quite a delightful mixture. I have the bowl I'm going to use here. So we're literally going to take half of this mixture and put it in the bowl. So that's about half. Here we go. Move that back there, so we're going to use that in a moment. So I have that in my bowl, and now we're going to put the, my brain's died, short crust pastry on top of this and get it into the oven. And there is the oven at temperature. Okay, so we've got our pastry. I've just taken it out of the fridge, and I need to split it in half for now, and we're just doing one layer. So I'm going to take half, and the other half I am actually going to put back in the fridge. We want it chilled. It's pretty warm. So I've, it's automatic, you see. So I always keep a shaker with plain flour in, or all-purpose flour, and that's what I've just put down. I'm just going to pat it down. I'm just going to put some flour on my hands and use that just to go over the rolling pin as well. And then I'm literally just going to roll it. And as I roll it one way, I will turn it over. And as I turn it over, I'm just going to pick up flour from around, make sure it's all over. I don't want it sticking. So there comes our pastry quite nicely together. And this recipe calls for the pastry, whoops, to be in, the rolling pin that side, sort of 2-inch squares, and we're going to put those on top of those peaches. So for me, it's just a case of, guess it, do not measure it, folks, do not measure it. That is going to give us, we'll leave that one, cut that one a little bit, cut that one, I'm going to cut that one, and then these are quite big, so I'm quite happy to just do the edge bits there as well. There you go. So we have got our pastry now all ready, and we're going to just put that on top of our first layer of peaches. So we've got all our pastry, and I've made sure they're all separate, and I'm literally going to put them on top of the peaches all the way around. Make sure they fully cover, shaking off any excess flour. I received a very nice e-card today from a friend in England for the 4th of July, and at the end of the card it had a map of the United States and all the states as if they were on pinboards, and you had to do them, they timed you doing this, fitting them all in. It feels the same way because these are all different shapes. It reminded me of that. So, quite funny really. A lot of fun, by the way. I haven't shown my children yet, I must. I'm sure they'll be a lot faster than I was as they cover it all. Okay, so you can see that, whoops, you can see they're on there. I'm going to put that in the oven now for about 20 minutes and just let that start to cook. So let's do that. And set that for 20 minutes. And that's now going to cook, and then we're going to put the next load of peaches on and the next pastry. So I'm going to go ahead now and get the next pastry out and roll that out and cut it into strips because I'm going to lattice that on the top. So let's get on and do that. So here is the, let's make sure that doesn't blow away. I'll just turn the AC down. It's quite hot in here. Tex, get out of my kitchen, please. Out. Dogs are not allowed in the kitchen. Right, so here's my last bit. I don't know why my rolling pin's that far away. So I'm just going to roll out my second piece. I realise I said cook it for 20 minutes, but in actual fact it only needed 10 minutes, and then it's going to go under the broiler in America, the grill if you're in UK. And I'm just making sure that I can, here we go, roll this out, because very soon it's going to just be turned. Let's put this here into strips. Now this is a blunt knife, just normal cutlery or silverware. As long as you hold your pastry, it's going to let you cut through it. And that's what we want, because we're going to, did it in squares below, we're going to add our next peaches any moment, and we are going to put a lattice top on it. It's more, it looks pretty. You've got to cut it anyway. We're not making a pie crust, because then that turns it into a pie, although it's the same pastry. So we might just as well cut it. That's going to let the peach juices come up and through it and around it. But it's going to look pretty. And I think presentation says an awful lot. So that's that ready. And our peach cobbler, first layer, it's got a minute to go. So I'm then going to move that to the broiler for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to put it right here, and we're going to put the lattice on top, and then put it back in the oven for 30 odd minutes. So until it looks done. So let me get back with you as soon as I have it out and next to me here. And that's our oven beeping at us. So let's get our cobbler out. There you go. One peach cobbler, which I will be serving with some vanilla ice cream. I do have homemade peach ice cream in. I have plain cream in, so heavy organic cream. So lots of ways that you can serve it. Very popular dish, and very enjoyable. And that extra layer of pastry that's halfway through just adds. So I hope you have a fabulous 4th of July, and I look forward to speaking to you all again soon.